Now let's turn to colored pencil, and for that I'm going to use a drawing pad, which is a paper that's a little more refined and finished than the sketch paper. It'll stand up to some of the rubbing and abuse that I give to it doing colored pencil drawings. And I've put a surface behind my paper that is good and hard because I don't want any give and take in the paper. I've chosen to do an illustration of this cheetah family, and we're going to do it step by step. Did you see that? I'm not going to do all the details. It's more than I need, and I want you to follow me. First of all, beginning by doing a sketch, holding my pencil side saddle the way I talked about earlier, and doing the large shapes. So I have finished my first rough sketch holding the pencil side saddle so that I'm operating with my arm instead of my fingers. And having finished that, now I'm ready to begin drawing in a more detailed fashion. And I've decided to do the outline in red, not because I see red in the image, but because I want that dramatic color in the final illustration to sort of outline this dramatic subject matter. So once again, I'm drawing now smaller details, holding my colored pencil the other way. So having done most of the outline in red, I'm now confident enough to come back and again go one color darker. This is just one way to work in colored pencils. Colored pencils can be done in a very sketchy manner, which is what I'm doing here. They can also be done in a very polished, refined manner, which only a little bit of this drawing is going to be done in that way. Instead, I'm opting for a more sketchy view, and I want it to be colorful. I am not going to go for extreme realism in this drawing. I'd like it to be more colorful than real and rather dramatic is the effect that I'm trying to get. I've decided here to go ahead and begin coloring in the background, since the background is such an important element in this drawing, and the way I treat it will have a great impact on the way I treat the subject matter. As you can see, I'm going for a blue sky at the top, and I suppose this could be construed, I'm sure it will be, as a sunset, but I'm more thinking of the blue sky fading down into the orange yellow of the animals themselves, but have that mother's head sticking proudly up above, catching the light, being the focal point of contrast in the composition. And before I'm done, I'm going to smooth out much of this background, not to perfectly smooth, but smoother than it is so far. Well, as you can probably see, we could continue with this process almost indefinitely, just pushing the values. There will come a time when the paper won't take any more pigment, but I'm not there yet. I'm still working in a fairly sketchy manner, so there's room for more. I do want to show you one technique that I'm going to use up here on the mother's face, and that is, again, to use any sharp knife. A sharp knife would work, a good pocket knife would work, in this case a palette knife would work, where I'm actually scratching the pencil back, scruffing it up pretty well, getting back to white paper, just for those little highlights. Maybe I'll do the same thing for the sparkle in her eye there. And really the main thing I need to do for the rest of this drawing is just push the values, make sure that the dark areas, I'm not there yet. There's one area here that's dark, and there needs to be quite a few areas in the drawing that are taken to that level of intensity. So I'll keep drawing for a while. So I'm going to finish up the colored pencil at this point. You can see that there's a continuum. You can either do colored pencils and leave them very sketchy, or you can pursue, develop, and leave it in a very photographic, realistic state. I've not done that in this illustration, partly because of the constraints of time, but I hope that you've been able to see how the progression works. And I hope that you'll enjoy using and playing with your colored pencils. Thanks for watching. So we've finished the drawing and sketching course with the Simply line from Daler-Rowney. We began with graphite pencil, where I did a value scale, and you may want to do the same thing. Then we drew our mannequin, and then played around with the russet colored pastels and so forth. And I again encourage you just to play. We talked about doing facial drawings, figure drawings with charcoal and a little bit of pastel. Did one fairly finished pastel illustration, and then just talked very briefly about oil pastel. I'm sorry we didn't do a finished illustration, but I showed you most of the techniques and talked about several others. Play with oil pastels. They're a great adventure. You'll have fun with those. And then finished up with colored pencil. The main thing is have fun with it. Don't put it in a closet where you'll get to it someday. Keep it out where you'll play with it every day, just a few minutes at a time. That's the way to do it. Don't get all serious about it. Just have fun. I hope this has been encouraging to you. I've sure enjoyed spending this time with you. I hope that you'll continue your adventure as an artist.